Hi everyone, my name is Jelaine Bundren, and I interviewed psychologist Dr. Douglas Carpenter from Michigan. He lives near Detroit, Michigan, and I interviewed him over Zoom conference. We were able to have a conference call, and he was very accommodating, very nice, very friendly. I found him on a website for finding certain doctors or certain therapists or counselors with unique specifications. So you can go there and you can find exactly what you're looking for, basically. People that are experts in certain fields, or if they are, if they went to certain schools, etc., etc., etc. So my goal is to become a psychologist. I'm getting my degree in psychology at MTSU, hopefully, and I plan to go on and get my PhD in psychology and become a psychologist. Those are the goals. So I wanted to interview someone who was in a career field that I am interested in and that I plan on going into. So I interviewed Dr. Carpenter, and again, very accommodating, very friendly, very open, and I asked him a number of questions. So we were able to do the interview in the morning before he had some clients that day, and he had been doing all of his clients because of COVID and everything that's been going on in our world. He had been doing all of his clients through Zoom meetings. So he actually talked me through some of his Zoom meetings that he's been having and some of the ways that they have been doing those Zoom meetings, which was kind of interesting. But I asked him about why he chose the career that he went into, and he told me some personal stories about some trauma that he had went through as a child and a friend that he had that had went through some trauma, and he actually had to testify in court as a child because of witnessing some trauma that had happened to his friend. So he had a first hand account at a young age, and that got him kind of involved in the career field. I continued asking him about some of the communication styles that he has as a psychologist and how important communication is in this field. And obviously, he said it was paramount, and it is, of course. Communication is a massive part of therapy, psychology. He and his wife have their own facility in Michigan where they employ 17 different counselors there. He is a psychologist, and then his wife is an LCSW, which is a licensed social worker. And let's see. I asked him about what he would recommend someone else that wanted to improve their listening skills. And he mentioned, let me get there. He recommended that they would practice objective listening and reflective listening. So him and I talked about the difference between those two, and being able to be an objective listener, being able to listen without a motive or an agenda behind it, just being able to listen objectively. And then he also mentioned reflective listening, which is listening, processing, and then responding rather than knee-jerk reactions in listening and communication skills. And then finally, I asked him a couple of other questions about communication styles and how he communicated and what he found was best in working with clients. And he found that being direct and being more assertive worked best for him. He mentioned that there were other clients that, seemed more passive or, more calm, but he mentioned multiple times that he was very direct in his communication style with his clients. And then lastly, I asked him about conflict resolution in the workplace and if there had ever been a specific instance where he had to, step into a kind of an iffy situation. And he had worked in corrections, and he had been at a jail, and there was a situation with an inmate that had gotten kind of out of hand, and he had to step in and do conflict resolution there. And he talked about the importance of being calm, the importance of, again, objectively listening to things, the importance of being able to focus on the matter at hand. So I'm going way too long, so I want to wrap this up. But Dr. Carpenter was an incredible person to talk to. I mentioned that I felt like At the end of the conversation, we were friends, not just strangers, and it was a wonderful conversation to have. And he was very accommodating, and I really enjoyed this assignment. So see you guys.